this video, I'm going to show you how Venom still remembers Spider-Man at the end of No Way Home. Before we get too carried away, papi, it is time for a wardrobe change. Now we're talking. Hiya! When you think about this movie, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? If you said, oh wow, maybe the multiversal crossover that ties in over 20 years of Spider-Man storytelling, yes, you are correct, but that is not what we're interested in. The most important part about this movie and the reason this whole video is being made is how Spidey altered Doctor Strange's spell. Wow. On the surface, it is just a plot point to bring the multiversal crossover into existence, but if we look deeper, it is going to change the complete history of the MCU. Let's break this down step by step so we don't miss a single detail. Numero uno, why do we need the spell? Why? Peter Parker is coming to Doctor Strange hoping that he can use his magic to undo Mysterio's work of revealing Spider-Man's true identity. And thus, Stephen Strange offers to cast a spell that will make everybody forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Numero dos, what spell did he actually cast? Obviously, this story's not gonna be sunshine and rainbows, so something had to go horribly wrong. Peter, upon realizing that Doctor Strange's spell is going to make his loved ones forget that he is Spider-Man, which could lead to many complications, alters the spell. Our man went hard in the paint with these adjustments like Michael Jordan in the clutch.
I'm Michael Jordan.
And altered the spell a record 6 times to make sure that MJ, Ned, Aunt May, and Happy still remember his alter ego. If you suck at math just like me, that makes 4 adjustments, with the 5th one being the original casting, but the important one is number 6. And I quote, basically everybody who knew that I was Spider-Man before should still know. Numero 3, we know why we needed the spell, how the spell was cast, but now we get to the fun part. The first spell goes absolutely nuts, and Doctor Strange saves the day by encasing it in a magical cube before it could do any more damage, essentially closing the door for other multiversal characters to join this universe. It is at this point that we learn that Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Electro, Sandman, and the Lizard make their way into the main MCU timeline. On the good guy side, this also means Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man are in the scene, but as we learn from the end credits scene, Venom also slipped through. Are you with me so far? Good. During the final battle, William Dafoe's sensational Green Goblin breaks the Máquina de Cadavus, and we get an amazing sneak peek across the multiverse for all the villains that know Spider-Man's true identity. In the end, however, good prevails at the cost of a very important sacrifice. In order to solve everybody's problems, Doctor Strange casts the second spell that makes everybody in this universe forget who Peter Parker is. Pay attention, papi, because things are about to get juicy. Whether Peter Parker's actions save the lives of the villains, that is not what we care about. The reality is that they're sent home packing into their own universes as well as the other Spider-Men. But the end credits scene offers a very peculiar scenario because we learn that Tom Hardy's Venom is also in this universe. This is the point where Spider-Man No Way Home and Venom Let There Be Carnage give us a lot of important information. Number 1, confirming Venom's background. In the Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credits scene, we learn that Eddie Brock was transported into the MCU at the exact same moment that Doctor Strange cast his spell, which is why he's able to see the newscast of the world figuring out that Peter Parker is indeed Spider-Man. It may seem like fan service, but in that moment, he licks the screen and audibly says, that guy, as if he knows something or he's seen that person before. You may also remember that prior to this very cute moment, Venom gave us a lot of information on how the symbiotes work in this live-action timeline. In case you didn't know, Venom is part of an alien race called the Clintars, which were created by the dark entity known as Null in order to defeat the Celestials. This primordial god is responsible for the destruction and the corruption of entire civilizations across the multiverse, and he uses the symbiotes to do it. Null created those aliens as part of a hive mind, which according to Venom, at least within the Sony universe, have collected over 80 billion light years of information across the cosmos. Essentially, he's part of a collective consciousness that travels beyond the span of a single universe. Now that you have the backstory, we're getting to the meat and potatoes. We still don't know how Marvel is going to work with Sony to bring the complexities of the hive mind into one universe. But what we do know is that the collective consciousness of that hive mind allows Venom to process information across from the multiverse. He may not know specifically how it works in that moment, but it is more than plausible that he could know exactly who Spider-Man is because there are other versions of Venom across the multiverse who have met Spider-Man before. An easy example is Sam Raimi's Venom, and all of those variants, or at least some of them, know exactly who Peter Parker is. Number 3, how does all of this information affect the spell? During the moment that Doctor Strange is casting the spell which makes people forget who Peter Parker is, we see all of the villains returning to their specific universes. And yet the only one who physically remains within the main MCU timeline is Venom. Yes, Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock Brock went back into his own universe, but a small little spawn of Venom still remains within the MCU. There are many theories that this could just be a plot point so that we can get Agent Venom. Essentially, we could see the Venom symbiote bond with Flash Thompson, and we can get a different structure to how the Venom story will evolve within the MCU, but this carries a lot of weight beyond that. As we saw from all of the different characters going back into their own universes, Doctor Strange's spell was successful. With that being said, a small part of Venom still remains, and it is entirely logical to think that it is because it knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And this is the reason why, because of the hive mind. This collective consciousness of death spreads across the entire cosmos, and it is not bound to one specific universe. So, while this version of Doctor Strange's spell might have affected the people in this universe, the symbiotes run on their own wavelength. With that being said, we still need some context from Marvel to know exactly how the symbiote hive mind will be explained and how it will be delved deeper into in order to get the full picture, but based on the information that we have right now, this makes total sense. Tom Hardy's Venom will have a lot of crazy adventures within this universe, but that small piece of alien goo, that small symbiote that could, mi hermano, it knows exactly who it's looking for. Do you think I got it right? Do you think I got it wrong? Let me know in the comments down below. Regardless, I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for making it to the end of the video and showing me that love and support. I will be making more MCU theories and breakdowns in the future, so if you like this style of video, make sure to drop a like, share it with a friend, and drop that subscribe button with the notification bell on so you can get instant noties whenever I go live or whenever I post a video. Big news, I just started live streaming again on this channel, and I'm gonna be doing it on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so if you want to discuss these theories in depth, you can definitely find me there. Also, let me remind you that we are officially partnered on YouTube, which means we are officially able to have YouTube memberships. This is basically a monthly subscription that you can purchase to directly support my channel, so if you're interested in getting some saucy perks like early access to my videos and being a full part of the Island Squad, just go click that join button that you see on my page, evaluate the different options, see the one that fits your budget, and join the squad. Again, it is not mandatory, but it is very much appreciated. Y con eso, that is all from me, so remember, drop a smile, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.